This is a Getty podcast.
Hi, I'm Zoe, the producer of Recording Artists. Welcome back for another bonus clip from the archive. This season, season 3, featured the stories of 3 members of the group Experiment in Art and Technology. We focused on Robert Rauschenberg, Billy Kluver, and Fujiko Nakaya to tell a bigger story of the group's development and major projects. From their early ad hoc collaborations to organizing 9 evenings theater and engineering in 1966 to programming the pavilion at Expo 70 in Osaka and beyond. But the E.A.T archive contains materials from many, many other artists and engineers. We listened to these other interviews and recorded lectures in the archive to understand the dynamics of this group and its members, even if we didn't end up using the actual clips in the episodes. I think of these kind of like interviews done on background. This month, I wanted to move one of these tapes of other E.A.T members to the forefront. This next clip comes from a panel discussion of artists and engineers held shortly after the 9 evenings performances, which spurred the formation of E.A.T. The panel was organized to help figure out what exactly artists and engineers might want from an organization like E.A.T, and of course, to recruit more members. In this clip, E.A.T co-founding engineer Fred Waldhauer and fellow engineer Robby Robbinson are answering a question from the audience about how they plan to attract engineers to the group, and whether the engineers will be interested in making art themselves. Here's Fred Waldhauer starting the response.
I'd like Robby to answer that if he can, if he will. But let me just preface that with my experience has been that engineers are aesthetic primitives, and we don't have to worry about competition.
Well, that I'd say amen, Fred. The first time I heard the word Rauschenberg met, they said we're going to Rauschenberg's last May, and I thought it was a Jewish delicatessen. That's how much I know about artists and art. And from that sort of lowly status, I had to grow with the artist, and I had to take on something that was entirely foreign to me. My idea of avant-garde was probably Rubens or Cezanne, somebody like that. And I will admit I was kind of stunned in my first approach, but then the work becomes so fascinatingly exciting, stimulating, that my family thought I was somewhat of a psychopath, and I wasn't too much interested in talking in terms of art or meaningful art. I wasn't too concerned with understanding art, but I was very concerned with the problems that the artists had and what we were doing in the 9 evenings. And I found that these were different kind of problems than I had met in the laboratory. And I found that all of the other technicians that were involved in this were just as excited as I was. And I didn't have any notion at that time of what the virus would really turn out to be. It's really a very kind of a saturating thing when it finally hits you. I don't suspect that there will be any dearth or any famine when it comes to engineers, because the exposure does. I remember one particular engineer back at the labs who was invited to do a particular project in it, and he said, well, I'll do it. I don't want to go near the artist though. Art smart, I don't want to know nothing about that. Just let me do my job. But before he was over, he was hanging around the 9 evenings, and he wouldn't go home, and his wife wanted to know where he was, and he's a candidate now, you see. This is the thing. I'm not saying that this is some kind of a universal religion or it takes hold of you. There's still people that I know of back at the labs that feel it's all nonsense. I've been told it's nonsense. The rapport establishes easily. The communication process is almost charming, and I don't think it ever gets to the point where engineers are trying to be hip or anything like that, or travel with an arty crowd. It's just that right now, My feeling is, certainly, and Fred indicated the same thing, I don't think that the problem of getting engineers interested is going to be a difficult one. There's no real resistance to it. I came here tonight feeling that the resistance would lay in with the artists, you see, and that's kind of dispelled when you see a nice group like this.
My first reaction after hearing this was that these guys seemed pretty fun for a bunch of engineers. I'd get dinner with them at Rauschenberg's Deli. I love Robbie Robinson's answer because it gives a sense of how far apart the world of the engineers was from that of the artists, and how novel and fun it must have been for everyone involved in these early collaborations. I also love how open they seemed to new experiences and experiments. Sure, 9 evenings involved a lot of long, unpaid hours of frustrating work. And if you want to hear more about that, check out the episode on Robert Rauschenberg. But at least they were all having a good time. That's it for this episode. I'll be back with more clips again soon. This episode was produced by me, Zoe Goldman, with audio mixing by Jaime Roque. Theme music by Bryn Bliska. Christopher Sprinkle is executive producer. Learn more about this podcast and all our Getty podcasts at getty.edu/podcasts.